All right, fans, this is Suzanne from Sit Down with Suzanne, and I am very excited about today's episode because on today's episode, I am joined by none other than Tanya. Tanya J Miller, who happens to be a author, a coach. I mean, there's a whole lot of things to her resume, but I'm going to go ahead and play our jingle, and then I'm going to introduce you to the fabulous lady herself. So before we kick off the jingle, Tanya, do you want to say hi?
Hello, everyone. Excited to sit down with you, and especially Suzanne today. So, looking forward to the conversation.
All right, perfect.
Bum, 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 positively Susan, positively Susan, ba ba bum 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 ba bum ba da da dum, ba 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 positively Susan.
All right. So, like I said, welcome to today's show. My guest, my fabulous guest of the hour, who is another one that is doing the remote thing with me. You know, this quarantine got our life all shook up. So, you notice I was very, very careful when I pronounced this beautiful young lady's name because y'all know it. I'm from Jamaica. I have a tendency to mess things up. Just luckily, her name doesn't start with an H because otherwise, I would have forgotten the whole H. All right. So, guys, I have no problem with talking, but I am going to introduce my guest to you. She's going to tell us a little bit about who she is, and then we're going to talk about why this is the show for you to listen to. So, Miss Tanya, let's take it away. Let's tell a little bit about ourselves and welcome to the show.
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it. Definitely hoping that something we talk about today, help somebody feel right where they're at. So, that literally is what I do, as an author, speaker, coach, strategist, as you mentioned. I literally want to help you to figure out how to fit the puzzle pieces of life together so you can do life right and you can do it well. And I do that because I want you to do life and leadership unapologetically on purpose. It's time for you to do life. Maybe this is the time that you've been thinking about it. So hopefully, I'm going to help you to figure it out just where you're at for where you're trying to go.
All right, wonderful. And thank you for sharing that. So, Tanya and I both belong to a group called Women of Color Podcasters, which is on
Yeah.
Facebook. And, what I love about that group, and I belong to another group, which is She Podcast. There's so many exceptional females that are out there doing different things. And my platform and my motto, my mission, it's all about inspiring, motivating, and empowering. And I really, truly have a passion for women and seeing women shine. And I talk about this a lot that as women, we need to work together. As women, we
Yeah.
need to collaborate. We can all shine together. So I was very
Hmm.
excited when she reached out to me. And, I was looking at her platform. It's very similar to mine, which is
Hmm.
fantastic. And what that means is we can work together to enhance each other's products. So that's what I love. So this is what it looks like when, women get together, when women talk and, realize that we can take over the world, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We can be doing similar things, the same things, but still reach the right people for where they're at because they're assigned to us.
Absolutely. And you know what? I mean, nobody's going to be you like you.
Hmm.
Nobody's going to look like you, dress like you, or, whatever. And it's okay.
Yes.
It is very boring to have somebody that is exactly like you, that does everything like you. You'll be bored. I want to see what somebody else is doing. I want to
Hmm.
chair for somebody else. So, Tanya, let's talk a little bit about who you are. I know you mentioned your bio in the beginning, but I know you
Hmm.
do like a vlog and a couple different things because I want you to
Yeah.
get some new fans out of this. So, let's talk
Okay.
about all that you do, and then we're going to streamline it and kind of trying to fit you into a category, and we'll talk about something specific for the audience because my audience is all about being inspired and just sharing positive information. So let's talk about everything you do because I want to be able to share this with my fans so that they could turn around and follow Miss Tanya.
Okay. So definitely, there is a blog, Talking with Tanya. It's actually been around for at least 15 years. That means we were pre Instagram, Facebook, social media, all that nine. But literally, I really am about helping you to figure it out and not just figure it out before wherever you're at, because you can be anywhere, you can be at any stage in your life. But if you made that decision to want to figure it out, if you made that decision to want to do your life unapologetically and to become the leader of your own life, then maybe something I have to say, will be able to encourage you, motivate you, and as Suzanne says, inspire you uh, for where you're at. So that really, a lot of that is what I do. That's where you can get all the just as they say, the free content, if you will, to help you get your life right. So that's what I'm doing on social media. I have, if you haven't figured out, I'm all about life and leadership. So I have online courses that I talk about that of various topics, everything from, as a leader in, business, how to network and how to connect with people, even if you're shy or introvert, like I am. I have classes, that talk about grace because, hey, we need grace to be able to do, our lives and to do it unapologetically. So there's a lot of different topics out there. There's topics around, getting your mind right and your life right, which, that's great. But if you haven't put in the work financially, you can't even, sometimes I can't even get you past, but Tanya, like, I don't have any money to do any of what you're talking about. So you may need this free tool that I talk about, a budget plan, I mean, a savings plan, and, just things to think about and work on, to get your mind right, but also financially to start saving to put some of that into implementation. So I hit you for wherever you're at, so I can cover all the bases that you may basically bring up to me as reasons why you can't do life and leadership unapologetically on purpose. Definitely as a speaker, I right now we all virtual. So, opportunities to reach out, when you hear of amazing women like Suzanne and what they're doing with their platform and their audience, and that they're open to allowing, connection, community, and collaboration. Hey, why not? It's a way to be able to, reach you where you guys are at and what you may be wanting and have been asking for. And I may just be able to add a little bit, of my tea and, my sugar to her tea, and we make some sweet tea for y'all, or we make some, good little herbal tea or something. So it's definitely great to be able to pivot, and adjust in climates, but still be able to do what you're called and assigned to do. And then, of course, as a coach, same thing, pivoting, but still, doing what it takes for the current clients, but making sure that anybody that needs what I have knows that it's available. And then as an author, I think I probably have enjoyed and loved writing for a long time. I don't think I had it intentional to know or think I was going to do a book, but I think I just knew I had something to say. So when the first one project came out, Mind Matters, the rest has been history. And so 3 projects later, 6 books later, fourth one on the way. I just literally, my passion is to do purpose and to help leaders, individuals, organizations to do the same. So if I'm able to do that in any form or way that you feel that you receive what I offer and what I do, that's what I'm aiming at, and that's what I'm about.
My goodness, that is wonderful. You certainly are a phenomenal woman. I
Oh,
love it.
thank you. Thank you.
I love
You
it.
are too, Miss Suzanne. You are positively a phenomenal woman, okay?
Oh, look at this. This mutual self adoration going on. You'd think we're old
Yes.
friends. I love it. And that's what I want females to recognize. Another woman is not your competition. Another
Mm-mm.
woman is there to enhance you and to make it better, fix her crown. When I read your bio, I mean, I could have like written this for myself myself, except, the 6 books, and we'll talk about that. Uh,
Okay.
but just, the things that you represent, you talk about life and leadership unapologetically. I'm always talking about with intention.
Mhm.
There's a gospel song that says God, he's intentional. And
Mhm.
girl, I feel that. I believe that because I think that we have to live everything with intent. Otherwise you're not going to accomplish what you set out to do. And you said something that I agree with. I mean, you said so much that I agree, but one of the things I just want to bring it back up, you talk about excuses. A lot of times we get in our own way.
Listen, you saying my stuff, Suzanne. Oh, you oh we got oh I know we gonna dig in. Yes.
Oh,
That is the truth.
we
That is the
do.
truth.
We do. And, we will definitely talk about that. But, like, she mentions excuses and, things like that. And I'm not saying, things happen. Let's talk about now. Like, right now, we are suffering from a pandemic. We're in the middle of a pandemic. We have COVID-19. So many things have changed. So, we could say, you know what? Well, I really need people out there. I really need to be out there with the public. Or you could still go ahead and do your stuff, make do with what you got.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we have to, like, we have to figure out, that thing where they say, when you continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect results, you
Mm-hmm.
like, that's like the, expecting and never going to actually succeed. It's the same thing. Like, you know, we have to figure out a way to adjust and pivot and still, you know, live, still be, and not allow, whether it's in certain or indefinite times, not allow that to change us, or get us stuck. Like, we have to figure out a way to still keep doing life and to stay inspired and to stay positive and to make the most out of a situation. Like, our parents didn't say that just to say it. They said it because that's really how we have to figure out how to do life.
No, you do. And listen, things happen, things come up against you, and but you still got to push through. I mean, the worst thing you can do is just lay down and says, "Well, that's it. I can't do anymore." And I'm not saying we won't have moments when we're like, "Lord, take this cup from me." Even Christ himself said that, right? Take this cup from me. But we also have to realize that we've got to get up and then we've got to
Mm-hmm.
do it. Take a moment,
Yep.
rest, drink some water,
Yeah.
get your strength back, but come
Yeah.
up and come up like a lion. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Process the pain, but don't let the pain stop you.
Exactly. And, I have to go back to something you said earlier, like pre social media. I don't even think I remember what that's like.
When you had to wait forever to get on the internet, listen. When you
Girl!
had to wait on them to see your email and remember they log in,
Oh, Jesus.
and they didn't have access to a computer at their house, so they had to go to the family member that had computer and the internet. Listen,
Girl, I know. We had one computer. We had one, right? The family room, you're right.
yes,
That's where it was. And we had to
yes.
wait from that dial up and that
Hmm.
AOL sound, it's in my brain. I can't forget it, right?
Absolutely.
And then somebody dare call you while you're dialing up and kicks you off.
Come
Oh.
on, come on. Or you had to switch it, the internet, you had to switch it. Listen, y'all don't understand how privileged y'all are to
These
be in the middle of
kids.
this crisis and y'all got the internet.
Yo,
Listen.
these kids, they don't know nothing because I'm telling you, like my daughter, they have a cell phone and, they have a tablet for their games and they have a laptop. Luckily, they do because they're going to school. And then they have access to like my computer, like the desktop. Like there's just
Hmm.
so much like things they have access to. And they don't know, girl. The other day, my daughter, she was like trying to research something for school. And I said, you know what, Sarah Jessica, like, I used to look it up in an encyclopedia. She's like, what's that?
Ooh,
I
listen. See, you taking it too far now. Listen, everybody had a set. And literally, it cost. They had installments, and it cost so much. They purposefully kept them sets till we was all the way through high school because this was a whole investment. Now y'all got it online in about 5 different locations. Like,
oh my
y'all blessed.
goodness.
We had to pull them out. have to cite it in your report. And then if you didn't use the right APA or CPA or listen, y'all are
MLA.
blessed. Yes, y'all blessed. Y'all don't even know.
They do.
Listen.
We do. Like, we may have to come back and do a show that, like back in the day to now, like your Uber Eats and your Uber driver. Girl, you better walk to that store, Lord.
Man,
Oh Lord,
come on.
oh Lord, and you know what? No offense, we're not old. We're talking here. We're not old. Thank
Hmm.
you, but it's just what you guys have now compared to what we have. But I ain't mad at you because I'm enjoying it right now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's just technology has changed and it's been so rapid. We're literally getting exposed to new tools, tips, at an exceptional rate as people are becoming aware of how things can be approved, how things can be done, how just one little change can make the difference. And so as it happens, it continuously shifts the paradigm of how we are able to relate and be able to conduct business, be able to just do life. And so with it, that's like you said, that's how we were able to connect and be able to even do this virtual podcast because as you mentioned before, you that wasn't normally how you did it, but because of where things have gotten and how we are able to even be in the middle of this but still not be so alone, we're actually together in it. We're not actually socially distancing, we're just publicly distancing, but we're literally learning how to be more relational all over again and be intentional about it, because we're able to jump on a Zoom birthday party or Zoom surprise birthday party, or yesterday, like my nephew they had a drive-by baby shower, or you can just have food dropped off and delivered at that elder family member's house and you don't have to worry about them going outside. You can take care of it. Like technology and the rapid pace of how it's being happening, it's able for us to still figure out a way to be there together, to help us to reach more people, to help us to be able to inspire and just be together in this fight. So it's been great. It's been great to be able to do that and still pivot in the middle of it and be what we know that we're supposed to be despite the current circumstances. So we're staying positive. We're doing what we need to do.
Amen. And you know that, girl. You're just speaking all my language. I'm telling you, you could switch out our bios and even like when I got the picture and like I just took my braids out, like I had those long braids. I was like,
Uh-huh.
this. I was like, yeah, it's kismet. It's fate that we met. It's fate that
Absolutely.
we are able to talk. And like I said,
Absolutely.
we share similar passions. So you talked about shifting the paradigm, and you know what we're gonna. And I think it really does come down to that. We have to shift our mindset.
Mm-hmm.
As a leader, one of the things I always try to make sure that I don't get caught in the trap, like, well, this is the way it's always been done.
Mm-hmm.
Because things won't change. Yes, it worked that way for, grandma and grandpa, but it's not going to work that way for us. And if I want to
Mm-hmm.
move ahead and if I want to go further, I have to shift my mindset. I have to change because I want different results. I want great, excellent results. So it's being flexible to change.
Y'all, did y'all hear that she said flexible? That's a whole word because so many aren't. They even say they want change, they want this, they want that, but they're not flexible in doing their life differently. If that means, you say you want to drop 10, but you refuse to wake up 20 or work or stay at the gym at the job that could help you cut the time, you refuse to make the time. So how do you want something but you're not flexible to do what it takes? So yeah, y'all need to hear that. Hit rewind
I
and play
know.
that again. Play that again. What Suzanne said, y'all.
What she said, because no, girl, I'm telling you, and I ain't gonna talk about exercise because I've made so many commitments, but I'm gonna move on from that. So
She said, "See, you stepped on my toes. Tell you, not today, not
you
today.
did. You
We
walked
going
down
on.
my
We
street,
moving
but
on."
you better back up on my street, girl, because you know it. But We all make excuses for things, but if it's something that you're
Hmm.
passionate about, something that you
Absolutely.
want, girl, you ain't gonna get it. You don't get to be Kobe by not practicing. You don't get to be Michael Jordan by not practicing and perfecting your craft. So you're home during this quarantine if you're not a first responder or an essential worker. And I'm gonna lift up a prayer for those. But I'm not saying don't have lazy days, but do something each day that you're going to be able to, move forward in the future. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and you said something else that was key is the fact that, you know, when you're actually ready, because that is also the difference maker. You won't move until you're ready. You can say it, you can write it on your vision board, you can have people at the prayer line praying for you, but until you are actually ready and you do what it takes, you just giving lip service, as they say in the church. You just giving lip service, but you
Girl.
you actually make change when you actually want to be the change. Until then, you just talking. You know what I mean? And it's not to say that to put you down, but maybe just talking about it is helping you too. That's cool if it's helping. Like sometimes you got to build your courage up with affirmations. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
you got to say it over and over again. So if that's what you're doing, all right, me and Suzanne gonna roll with you with some affirmations until you build up your strength, until you build up your courage, until you build up your might. But if you're not doing them as affirmations and you just giving lip service, then listen, me and Suzanne stepping on your toes today. Okay.
Lord,
So
we
so
gotta.
tell us the difference that you're doing. If we do affirmations, we riding. If we not, we give y'all the side eye. We
Exactly.
give y'all the side eye.
Exactly. Girl, like my mama used to say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
absolutely. So, you know what? Thank you. There's so much gem in that. And you and I will have to collaborate on future projects because
All
it's
right.
so
I'm always
scary.
listen, that's the one thing about reaching out and having these opportunities that I literally tell people, one, I have no agenda. I don't have a subject. I don't anything. If you vibe with what I talked about and what I represent, then I'm just coming on board to talk to just like I said, add some sugar to your tea and be there for you and what your audience already needs, what they've been asking for. I'm just helping along the way. But the plus for me and what I get out of it is not even necessarily tied to the likes and follows or the sales. It's tied to one, I'm doing my purpose, but more than anything, it's allowing me the opportunity to build relationships, connection, community, and collaboration. It's allowing me to take my literally what I say, what I do beyond my four and no more, and reach somebody that I may have never met, but because of my relationship and connection and collaboration opportunity with you, not only will we possibly have the podcast interview, but there's more to come. And so that's what I look for. Like, and it's been amazing. Like you said, we already talking the same language. We already, and because you do what you do the way you do, and if I do it the way I do it, we about to make some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, y'all. We about to
Girl,
do it.
you ain't
Peanut butter and
lying.
jelly sandwiches,
You ain't
okay?
lying. They shouldn't work, but they do.
Yes,
All right,
yes.
girl. So, no, I love it. I love everything about what you say. And, you're right. I do believe in, collaborations. I do believe in, joining together with somebody and, figuring out a way how to, reach folks. And you said it
Hmm.
best. I mean, and I've said it before in terms of social media and Instagram. Hey, I love social media. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. What else? I don't even know. I have Snapchat. Child, I only got that to follow my daughter. I have no, I don't use it. I just, there's so much things to do. But what I really wanted to point out with what you said, it's not about the likes because, there, people could be liking your post, but they're not reading your post.
Hmm.
And I really rather somebody, if I'm getting 5 likes, I get 5 likes. But if one person out of that 5 comes to me and says, what you said really touched me and spoke to where I am at, it blessed me, I am good, versus getting a million likes and it not touching not one person. And that's truly what
Hmm.
I believe. And we both use social media as a platform and to reach different people. And there was a meme that went around, and I love memes, funny ones. It was about, it was a guy and he was at his funeral and like there was
Mhm.
only two people there, and I remember the person was like, wow, he has over 1,000 Facebook friends, and but there was nobody at his funeral. And
Mhm.
I say that to say this: just because you have a million followers and them all liking you doesn't mean you're actually touching the people. And it seems like what Tanya is about and what I am about, and we didn't plan this before. It's like we're
Mhm.
more about the engagement than the connecting, the helping, with somebody. So if somebody says, hey, listen, I saw your post on Instagram and it was dealing with, I don't know, depression. I
Mhm.
didn't like it because, I'm depressed right now and I didn't want anybody to associate it with me. And you want to
Yep.
pick up the phone and says, hey, give me a talk. I'm okay with that. I prefer that than you liking it and it didn't touch you or connect with you in any way.
Listen, Suzanne, do you want me to tell you a real life story?
All
I
right, go
have
on.
I have family members that literally can quote me back and forth to what I said 3, 4 weeks ago. I'm like, you, you. First of all, you follow me. Second, you actually listening. Third, I ain't never seen you not like, follow, comment on nothing. But that tells you that number one, and it further always reminds me that something my dad always would say, that there are people watching you that will never even say anything. They'll never respond. They'll never like their comment. But what you say, it changes their life. And you cannot stop based upon these numbers. You cannot stop based upon sales. You can't stop. When it's your purpose, you wake up with it, you sleep with it, and it just continues to come out of you because it's who you are. And so that definitely is, in a sense, if you're on the fence of trying to figure this thing out, if you're trying to figure out if you're making the right moves, if you are making the right decisions, starting the right business, in the right business, writing the right book, whatever it is, and you not sleeping with it, breathing it, it's not coming out of you, it's not chasing you down, that might be an indicator you might not be where you need to be, or at least not there yet, and you may need to shift it, or really, niche down in it to really see what it is about it you actually are called to. So definitely know that, listen, there are people watching you, whether you have a platform or you got a social media page, just in everyday life. They're looking at you. And if you stop being you, if you stop doing purpose, they may stop. So never look at it that what you have isn't of value. Everything we are and what we are about is of value. And know that you're helping people along your life journey.
Wow. That was beautiful and powerful. And I thank you. I received it and I send it right back at you because you know what? It is. It has value. And, what your dad says, it's funny because, you had shared with me that you're a pastor's kid. So
Mm-hmm.
if you hadn't said that before, I was like, yep, he's a pastor or he's in the church. He's in the
Yes,
church.
y'all. I'm a PK. I'm a
You're a
PK.
PK, and because it comes with, like it for in the church, and they say like somebody's always watching because
Yeah.
you mess up the first thing, aren't you that preacher's kid?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Or have even those expectations, or all of that, but irregardless, I may have failed, but I fell down, but I'm gonna fail, right, I'm gonna fall, I may have fell down, but I'm gonna fail up. Fell, fail, but I'm gonna fail up. FAIL, I'm gonna fail up because I'm not gonna stay down there. And when you have that mindset, when you have that motivation behind you that this may have happened, but as they said in as the old saints would say, this too shall pass as well. So no matter, if y'all are in the middle of this and you may have gotten laid off, you may have got furloughed, you may have got your hours cut, know that this is just a time and space that we're in, but this too shall pass. So even if you hit bottom, know that there's nothing left but for you to go up. So fail up. Keep going. Use it as an opportunity to learn while you're down there. Use it as an opportunity to shake up things. Use it as an opportunity to pivot and go to maybe that thing that you were too scared of, that thing you were too afraid to actually try out. Listen, if you already down there, why you can't do the worst you can do is not try.
Mm-hmm.
And that's from my mama. My mama would say, nothing beats a failure but a try. Like you, I mean, it's just, can't nobody beat you with being you. That's what
Mm-hmm.
she would tell us over and over again. Like the worst you can do is not be you. The worst you can do is not try. So while we down here, while we in the middle of what we in, y'all, try. try being you.
Take the
Try
first
being you.
step. Take the first step, girl. And
Absolutely.
nobody can beat you being you. You're absolutely correct. Thank you, Mama, for that saying, please. Because
Yep. Absolutely.
we have said it many different ways, and
Mhm.
you can't be afraid. Like, fail seven is it? I think it was Denzel Washington. I was listening to one of this thing. It says, fall 7 times, get up eight. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Just get up. Like, just get
Mhm.
up. Just start. Just do it. And we know that people suffer from different things. We know
Oh
that
yeah.
people suffer from depressions or,
Mhm.
which gives them this inability to move forward. But I am telling you, get up. Just do something. Do anything. All right.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, I mean, and like you said, we understand the realness of that. I literally talk about that in my book, Bond Matters. Like, I literally was in a place I was stuck, but I had to make my mind up. Like, nevertheless, after 6 hours of unemployment in 7 years between me and my husband and I, nevertheless, after having chronic illnesses and in pain most days, nevertheless, after, dealing with, some things on the job, things with friends, things in marriage, nevertheless, I had to make my mind up. Do I want to stay here? Because you know what this is like. Like, you know this.
Mm-hmm.
You know this. It's not fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's not happy. It's literally unbearable. So why would I stay in the comfort of what I know and it's nothing that's helping me when I could go to the opportunity of what's next, what's possible. So that's how you have to look at it when you're in it. And definitely, it's not easy. And that's even what I talk about in the book as well. Like, if you are that person that loves somebody and sees somebody and that cares for them, and you don't know how to reach them because they're going through trauma, they've experienced disaster after disaster, loss after loss, trauma after trauma, mental illnesses, challenges, I'm going to help you to figure out how to reach them because, you know, we're saying what we're saying, but we're also giving you tips, tools, resources, and love. Some other folks just be like, get up, you fine, dust it off, ain't nothing wrong with you, bye, bye, bye. Like, you faking. Like, no, no, you can't do that either, though. No, you can't do that. So I'm going to make sure you know how you can reach them or at least, figure out the right way to be there for them because definitely it's a lot that people are going through right now. Literally I've lost count over the past year and a half how many people I've lost, both friends of family, loved ones. Like, I lost a friend of a family just last night, and then I lost a family member just a week before. So we're all in this, but we have to figure out how we live through it and not just live in it.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. So, I mean, you led perfectly into where we were going and, what we are, the majority of what we were going to talk about today. And I love, like I said, our show's unscripted. So, we just go where the conversation leads us. And so
Mhm.
far, it's led us to so many different places. And you were talking about being an author and, writing from a traumatic place, writing from a
Mhm.
painful place.
Mhm.
So, how did you decide to write about it? And was writing about it cathartic, like a catharsis?
Yeah. Yeah, like honestly, it wasn't a book at first. It was just literally me starting back writing again because like we both have said, sometimes it is a lot and you have to pause, you have to process it, you have to do the work, you have to go to therapy, you have to start working and doing self-care, you have to start back putting your eyes and emphasis on you. And so that does take a little bit of time. And so part of that was for me was getting back to writing again. And so I literally just wrote it and I had no expectation that it would be anything. Maybe I thought it was going to be a blog post, but that was it. And the reason I say I had no expectation is because literally I wrote this 5 years before I ever published the book because I had no idea it was a book. But I got that tap on the shoulder 5 years later. Hey, Tanya, God, this is me, God. You remember that book you wrote? I was like, I wrote a book? What
Mm-hmm.
book I write? Like, what you talking about? And literally, I had to pull out those notes, find it, old Sprint phone, old floppy disk. Like, yeah, I'm telling my age, y'all. Like, I had to figure out what it even was and pull it together. It's not a floppy disk. It wasn't that. But still, like, I
Mm-hmm.
had to figure out where it was and pull it together edit it, work on it. Matter of fact, I had to also add up, like, it's like, okay, so you talk to them about it. Now I need you to show them how to do the work. So add a journal to it and have that as a book as you're releasing as well. And so, that was it. Like I started it as starting back to doing what was me. What was me helping people. What was me doing my purpose. What was me was being just as passionate, just as encouraging, just as inspiring as I am about helping people do life unapologetically. And I had stopped. And I had to start back to getting doing me. Little did I know, as I started back to doing me, that this was a part of what was going to get me back to being me. And it would be something that would be what others needed down the road, not just in my head, but an actual book and journal too.
Oh my, that is just wonderful. I mean, I'm always blown away by people who are able to write things, from their personal experience and using that to, help themselves heal and to
Mhm.
then in turn around and help others heal. So, a lot of my viewers, and I'm all about positivity, and a lot of my viewers,
Mhm.
they're going through things, and I have some people that I coach that are listening to this, and one of the things I always say to them, like, you're not alone, because I
Oh
think
yes.
one of the things that, so I'm going to talk church for a minute and come back to real.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
when you're in the church, they always say that, like, the devil likes to isolate you. He
Mhm.
wants you to feel like you're alone, and
Mhm.
and that there's nobody who is going to understand you. Nobody's going to go through what you're going through. So if you're in the church and you're hurt, you kind of hold it in, and then eventually what happens is you draw away from God. And
Mhm.
I think the same thing happens in real life sometimes. When we're going through something traumatic, we
Mhm.
tend to isolate because, girl, I'm from Jamaica. We don't share nothing. I'm going to tell you the truth. We don't share. So
Mhm.
you go through something traumatic, we are ashamed of it. So we push it down and we
Mhm.
don't deal with it head on. And then it starts to come out in other areas of our
Yes.
life. And we
Mhm.
isolate ourselves from those who want to help us, and it,
Mhm.
it gets harder and harder to get
Oh yeah.
away. So it's important that you talk about it. It's important that you not be ashamed of it. So
Mhm.
what advice would you give to somebody that's going through something traumatic right now and they feel like nobody has ever had this happen to them?
Mhm. I would definitely say that, first and foremost, like you said, Suzanne, like that is how, whether you believe it as the enemy, whether you believe it as the universe, whether you believe it as karma, that is how it works. The way for you to be able to feel the worst about you are, that's even the way, how even, if you look at some of the ways that people that do hurt people do, like they make you feel alone. They make you feel like this is all your fault. They make you feel like, no, this is nobody would have did this but you, like you did this. Like, and so not only do you feel that way, but you point the finger at yourself, or you believe the message of others that point the finger at you. And so what I want to tell you is not to believe it, not to believe that you are the first or the last. I know that may sound very blunt, and that definitely is my mama coming out. But that's what I want you to know. Like, you are not the first, and you are not the last. A lot of times, that's the reason how trauma continues to be what it is and continues to be that way, because we don't speak up, we don't open our mouth, we don't speak on the truth. The greatness and the blessing of what works in support groups and in those type of relationships, whether it's for support for chronic illness or support for people that have gone through situations, that's how you get that relationship, because you begin to see, I may have it may have been this slight tweak in what happened to me, but the undertone of it happened to my sister over there. It happened to my friend over there. It happened to this lady that was in the shopping store with me, and I ran into her, and she just noticed something on me, and she just said something, and she asked me something, and I broke down, and she began to tell me, wow, I need you to know this also happened. Like, that's how you have those moments when you open your mouth and when you speak on it. I definitely don't think and don't want you to just speak on it to any and everybody. That's not what I'm saying. But I want you to speak and use your voice, because as you begin, and this going to come not churchy, but as you begin to speak on your truth, tell your story, and be able to speak it, you will be able to work through it. You will literally be able to evidence this happened, but I am not this. I'm going through this, but I won't have to stay there. And so when that's when you allow the opportunity for what happened to you to silence you, that's how it gets the victory. But when you allow what happened to you to be your story of triumph, and to be your weapon, and be your tool, and be your resource, to know, literally, I have a god sister, and she said this to me. She works a lot with um, children, as far as resources for parents to reduce the preschool to pipeline, but also with domestic violence. And so one of the things she told me in a situation that happened was, she said a person that she had been working with and mentoring had, or if you were coaching, she said that she called crying and ashamed because she didn't want to tell her that she fell back into another domestic violence situation. And so as she's telling her the story, she has to make her pause, and she says, do you not realize what you just told me? And the person was like, no. She was like, remember, the last domestic violence situation you were in, you stayed for 10 years and
Mm-hmm.
lived it. She's like, but this situation, you haven't even been with this person but for 6 years, or 6 months or 1 year, and you start seeing the signs. And even though you stayed a little bit, you didn't stay 10. So let's give you some praise that you didn't stay 10. You got out of this thing at 6 months, a year. And so even give yourself a pat on the back. You might be going through some moments and times of that depression is creeping up, that anxiety is creeping up, but you recognize it. You recognize the signs, and you reach out now. You don't stay in it 2 years, 3 months. You don't let the self-imposed isolation take you deeper. You reach out at 6 weeks. You reach out at a month. You reach out at 2 days and get your support. You call your therapist. You call EAP. You get in the room's chat room as a support. You get what you need. You listen to Positively Susan. You connect. You don't stay there. You might feel it. You might be dealing with it, but you recognize that you have to deal with it before it continues to deal with you. And so that's what I would say. And that's my mama too. She would be like, "Girl, you better deal with it before it deal with you. Like, you don't let that hold on you. Don't
Mm-mm.
let it hold on to you. Uh,
Wow.
you shake it, like shake it, because the longer you let it hold on to you, the longer it holds you. So don't deal with it, y'all. Deal with it. Don't matter if you don't be ashamed that it came back up. Do
Mm-mm.
do don't do that, no, but do something about it now that you know it did. So yeah, that's what I would say. That's what I would give, and that's what I do. You're not alone. You're not alone.
Mm.
I I tell y'all, I have chronic illnesses. That means I am in constant pain a lot, a whole lot. And depending on the day, some days I can't even get out of bed, and I be like, really, like, this how you gonna do me today, body? Like, I have a whole conversation, like, this really what you gonna do? You gonna
Mm-hmm.
play me like this? Like, I got stuff to do. I got people depending upon me. You know how them folks be tripping, but
Mm.
I have to work through that, and I have to realize, what can I do? How can I pivot this? How can I work through this? How can I not let this mess up my whole day, my whole mood? And even if it stays the second day, like, how can I process this? How can I change, not what I can't, but what I can? And I'm telling you, that's what I said. You're not alone. I have to figure out, I have to do the same work. I listen, but know that you have to deal with it, because you can't let it keep dealing with you.
Wonderful. Tanya, I am, like I said, viewers, when you listen, you got to get right off to this podcast and follow this young lady. She's dropping some pearls, some wisdom. She's throwing a little of mom and daddy up in there. And you know what? She's absolutely correct. You are not alone. And, she talked about shame. And I know for a fact that silence ends up breeding shame, because the more silent you are about, you start to get shame about something. And there are some traumatic experiences that we have gone through and that we have lived through that sometimes, we don't talk about it. But, when you give a voice to it, like Tanya says,
Hmm.
you don't know, you're not only helping yourself, you're helping others.
Absolutely.
because, like she said, don't go around telling everybody, but you don't know how that blesses somebody else. And
Mhm.
somebody know that you went through that pain, and seeing how you're recovering, how you're coping with it will help them, deal with their pain. There's so many different things. There's miscarriages and rapes and domestic
Mhm.
violence abuse and sexual abuse and all these things that people go through, and then you talk to somebody about it, and it helps them. It helps them
Oh yeah.
realize, and kudos to that person, from 10 years to less than a year. And and sometimes it's hard to recognize signs, so for her to like recognize it so quickly just says, she learned her lesson. So don't
Yep.
be ashamed.
Yep.
It things can happen to all of us, and I say it all the time. It just needs to happen once, then you can deal with it. But things can happen, and we can't be ashamed of it. We've just be
Mhm.
got to learn how to face it head on, and not realizing that we're not alone. So I have a quick story. A couple months ago, I was at work, and I saw this lady, this customer, and she had on her glasses, nails, and everything. Just looked beautiful. So I was just moved to go over there and tell this woman that she looked beautiful. And like,
Okay.
hey girl, you look good. Looking good. And she's like, I don't feel good. And I said, hey,
Mm.
what's going on? And she had just lost her mother.
Mhm.
She had just lost her mother. And I said, wow. I said, can I give you a hug? And she said, yes. I went over there, I hugged her, and she cried and she cried and she cried. We talked for a little bit. And I don't know. I mean, I don't say I don't know. God moved me to go over there and say
Mhm.
something to this young lady. And
He did. Yep.
she could have not said anything, but because she said that to me, then I shared with her. I said, hey, I lost my dad a year ago, and I said, I'm still grieving, so cry if you want to cry. I ain't
Yep.
no shame in my game. And then there was another young lady who worked with me, and she had just lost her dad less than 6 months ago, and we were all there standing and hugging and touching and just say, and just crying because we have lost a person that was so important to us. The person who, gave us life, it was her mother who birthed her, and both of us was our father. And, I thank God that God led me to her, and I thank God that
Mhm.
she opened up, because some people would have just walked away.
Yeah.
And I ended up seeing her after that, and she talked about how that helped her. But I brought it up to say that sometimes that's all somebody needs, that human connection. And then when
Yes.
she shared her hurt, like right there was maybe five of us standing around, and out of that five of us, there was three of us that could identify with losing a parent, and it helped
Mhm.
all of us. So I am telling you, your pain has purpose. Your
Absolutely.
pain can help somebody. Your pain can pull somebody out of where they are to get them to the next level. So don't be ashamed of your pain, no matter what it is, no matter what it is you're coming from, whether it's having a miscarriage, whether it's, coming back from being raped. You know what? It is not your fault. Whether it's you're being sexually abused, it is
Mhm.
not your fault. And one of the things that I know that these people that molest little kids strive on, they feed on, they convince you not to tell anybody else. But if you tell somebody, you might find, you can prevent the other person from getting,
Mhm.
getting the same
Plus
thing
one
as
eight
you
zero zero four four nine
are
eight
getting.
seven six seven.
So
Absolutely.
talk about it. Have no
Yep.
shame. Talk about it.
And no fear.
No
And no
shame
fear.
and no fear, because like I'm telling you, that silence breeds shame, and we're not feeling shame. Like you said, unapologetic. I
Mhm.
I am no longer ashamed of being who I am, of living my life intentionally, of being a child of God, of going after my dreams and goals. So that's,
Absolutely.
like I said, we're just saying same thing, just different words. You're up on a unapologetic, and I'm with intention. But
Yes.
but bottom line is, we're gonna do it, and we're gonna
Mhm.
get you to do it right along with us.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, darling. So 6 books. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I talked to you guys about the first project, Mind Matters. Getting out of your head, jumping back into life. We get stuck. I've tried to help you figure out how to get unstuck back on purpose, and of course to get your mind right. So that's a book and a journal. Second project, if you have not figured out, that girl Linda, my mama, she all in this. So I, what better to do than give my followers that have been with me through the years with Talking with Tanya a book. Like they literally were like, I need to meet her. Like, oh my God, she be oh, whew. I think as they say, I think she snatched my edges. Like they be like, she be doing it. And so honestly, it wasn't even my second project, but I ended up just realizing and knowing that it was. And so it's literally about love and life, the love of our mom, trying to teach us how to do life right and well. So it's 20 sayings, some stories behind some of those sayings. Two of them I already told y'all, but the life lessons that we learned along the way. And so I did a book and I did a prayer journal for that. And so it's called Things My Mama Said. And I'm going to have a volume 2 because in it, what I've realized is not only that I'm being able to share life lessons and wisdom with my readers, but my family has basically, asked me, they literally asked, are you doing another one? Are you doing a volume 2? Because they have seen it as a way of me passing down stories and legacy. So the second one that I'll be working on, I'm actually working on it. It will include just other phenomenal women in my life. Unfortunately, a lot of them have passed even in this past year. But it will be me sharing a bit of who they are, their sayings. There's some stories that either may have been me, may have been their daughter or son or whoever, but it will be a story behind it that them saying that's that, and then a life lesson as well. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Like I said, especially with knowing that I have to treasure their life and give it testament for the time that they were here. So that's coming out sometime next year. And then the third project, it's a mini book. It's a mini book and a mini guide, but it's called the Pro Series, and it's reminding you that there is a pro in you, and because there's a pro in you, you have the provision to do life and to do it right and well. So, mini book, mini journal, all the projects are on my website, shop.tanyajmiller.com. That's the direct link, or Amazon, where you can get the books in digital, print, and audio, because I'm an audio girl. So I had to make sure I put them out there, and then they're in print for the journals. But yeah, like I said, I started with one, 3 projects down the line, 6 weeks later, fourth project coming out sometime this year called Motivated Effort, reminding you that the effort, the motivation, it's an inside job. It starts with you. So, who knows if it'll be 20, 40, I don't know, but they keep coming. So I got to keep doing what I do, which is, helping people wherever they're at with what I have to give.
Hey, you better keep on doing it. Keep on listening to God telling you what to do, right? My
Yes.
goodness, that's outstanding. Well, young lady, it seems like you have so much going on. I'm so proud of you. Don't even know
Thank
you from all
you.
back that, but I am so proud of you. I like to see people, striving. I like to see people, living their lives and going after their passion and living it with intention and just being the best of themselves. There's nothing greater than to see somebody truly living their passion and being all that they can be.
Absolutely. Well, I thank you as well. And like you said, we found each other, we've connected, definitely going to work together. But that means for us to connect and meet, you were already doing your thing, doing it intentionally, being the source, the light of power and positivity. So we just both out here doing it and doing it, you know, doing it and doing it
That's
on
it.
purpose. So,
We are doing it unapologetically and intentionally. So
yep.
that's how we're doing it. So I mean, I love people and I love connecting with people. And I will admit that I am from Jamaica, so a lot of times I wasn't comfortable sharing, what I've been through. And
Hmm.
I like the fact that, I've been able to share what I've been through and it's helped others, and it seems like, it's the same thing with you. And one thing I want to touch back on that you had mentioned, you are unfortunately most of the people that would have had a significant impact in your life that, they're no longer with us.
Mm-hmm.
And, one of the things I heard something the other day, I honestly don't remember if I heard it from a TV or a movie, but, it said somebody only truly dies when nobody alive remembers them.
Mm-hmm.
So they are alive in your memory, they're alive in
Yes,
your
ma'am.
love,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
putting them in print, that means that somebody else will always remember them. So they will live forever because those books will be around forever. So that is such an honor and a tribute that you're doing for them. So
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
all right, Miss Tanya. So I enjoyed our chat, and one of the downsides about this, all good things must come to an end. And girl, we could talk forever, but you know what? There were so many projects that I was working on. Some I have to put off because of this quarantine. But
Mm-hmm.
there's so many things that are coming down the pipeline. So I'm so glad that we got this opportunity to connect. And thank you so much for reaching out. That we got the opportunity to collaborate and just go on a show. And it really is about encouraging and empowering other people to, live their best life.
Yes.
So I appreciate you coming on. And, there's so many things. I'm going to have you share with the audience how they can connect with you. And I'll put that in when I do my post on social media, let them know how they can connect with you, get your books and all that. And, so I'll have you just do some self promotion here, honey.
Absolutely, absolutely. So definitely follow me, like me, reach out to me on social media. That's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. That's where you can find me talking with Tanya. And for sure, definitely check out the website. All the links are actually on the website at tanyajmiller.com. But there you'll be able to find information on speaking, information on the books, direct link to the store, shop.tanyajmiller.com. You can find information on coaching, information if you want to reach out to me as far as speaking or, me be on your podcast or your panel or your summit as well. Definitely always looking to, like I said, do what I do on purpose. So that's out there. Also, I have online courses on life and leadership at school.tanyajmiller.com. I think I mentioned a few. So connect with me, check me out. Definitely make sure to let both me and Suzanne know how you felt about the show. So when she puts it out there, and she tags me, you guys like it, you guys comment, you definitely show her some love, and support with everything she already has, what she's doing, and what she has coming. Because when you guys give us the love, we can continue to be able to do what we do and help more people because that's our assignment. So you helping us helps so many more that don't even know about what we have to offer. So thank you for sure for allowing me to connect. And, I'm excited for whatever we do next because I'm sure it will be intentionally unapologetic.
Oh my goodness, girl. I love it. I love it. No, I appreciate you so much. I thank you for coming on. And, she said it. Please go ahead and follow her on social media and, share your feedback and your thoughts, what you think about the episode. I know it's going to bless somebody. I know listening to her, she blessed me. She dropped some wisdom. She dropped some gems. And I know the saying that says, the only time you stop learning is when you're dead. So never be too proud or too smart for your own goods to think that there's nothing left for you to learn. So I learned a lot today listening to my guests. So Miss Tanya, I appreciate you coming on, and don't worry, you and I will definitely collaborate again in the future. Our energy was just too fantastic and was just so easy to talk to you. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be some lives in our future, some
Okay.
IG live, some Facebook live until one day
Absolutely.
we might meet live, right?
Yes, 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 for sure.
All right.
Yeah, I told you the bestie is from Jamaica, so I'm planning to get there or wherever you're at. I definitely I'm sure we will make the opportunity work and fit in the future.
All
'Cause
right, then. Also, she come from Jamaica. All right, that's it. So she knows. So just ask her about them H's and say, "Listen, is it true?" She'll tell you.
I'm planning on it. I'm planning on it.
We could say hallelujah, but we can't say hair. Air. You see it? Anyway, darling, I thank you for coming on. And to my wonderful, fabulous fans, I thank you for listening. And I'm going to have Miss Tanya take us out.
Thank you guys again for the opportunity for just both myself and Suzanne to intentionally show up in your lives and encourage you and remind you to be unapologetically you on purpose. I actually came across a quote today by one of my favorites, which is Dr. Miles Monroe. And if I can leave you guys with just this one thing, I want to just say to you is that, you know, whatever you look at and whatever you're measuring as your measure stick of success, know that it's not just about existing. It's not just about being here. It's about making it to the end of the reason of why you were born. And why you were born is to fulfill purpose. So no matter what you may hit as a stumbling block or roadblock, you have this time. And so do it. Do it intentionally. Do it with positive, even if you fall, fail fail right on back up because you have purpose. It's assigned to you and it's intentionally for you to be able to help somebody else along the way. So when you show up for yourself, show up for others, and continue to be unapologetic on purpose. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Suzanne. You guys follow, like, comment because she's doing amazing things. Thank you.